So if I had to ask you what you, in your opinion, you think the major causes of Alzheimer's are, and if I wanted to try to avoid it, what would they be?
So we have a very simple three disease mechanism hypothesis, and I think it's well vetted in the literature. In the medical community, ICD-10 is the playbook that doctors use. 68,000 codes. 68,000. How long would it take you to count to 68,000, Kerry? I say there are 1, 2, 3 mechanisms of all chronic diseases that explain at least 90, 95, maybe even 99% of them. And number one is just adverse inflammation. And that is caused through a mechanism which I call malnutrition, which simply means our diet rich in calories and low in nutrients. So we have plenty of calories, but we don't have a lot of nutrients, and most of what we do is repair and recovery. We have to repair and recover. So I tell my participants, and I work with people from all socioeconomic walks of life. I said, if you're driving down the highway and your tire starts going flat, will going to the gas station and filling your tank with gas solve your problem? And the answer is an abject no. Okay, but that's what we're doing in our food supply. We're giving gasoline in terms of readily absorbable calories, but in foods that have been processed, so they have very low nutrient density. So our repair and recovery mechanism is weak, and we have too many calories. And I just had an article up that says, reducing insulin to the brain has a profound effect on slowing, stopping, and preventing neurodegeneration. That's mechanism one. The second mechanism is really sensitivities related to, once again, our food supply and leaky gut syndrome. So our gut's a sieve, and our sieve is opening up, and things that shouldn't get through into our bloodstream are, and they're creating a form of inflammation or autoimmune disease. But really, it's solvable if we can get rid of offending foods and seal up the leaky gut. And then the third thing is chronic stealth infection. Most people know Lyme disease, but Lyme isn't the only chronic infectious disease that we can be infected by at some point in our life. And then later in life, when we're vulnerable, have opportunistic Lyme, Borrelia burgdorferi, other pathogens associated with Lyme come out to play in a body that's not resilient. So chlamydia pneumoniae, rickettsial diseases, H. pylori, toxoplasmosis, many of these things. An interesting thing, Kerry, is that we think about a dormant bug. So herpes zoster, what is it? Chickenpox. It should be dormant for life. We've been vaccinated against it, but people get shingles. That's the herpes zoster coming out to play. That's the only one we talk about in terms of being dormant. You think that's the only bug in the world that can get in our body and be dormant and then express later in life and cause disease?
Sure.
That's why Kaiser says the number one costing disease and the number one cause of morbidity, poor health, is what's called ill-defined conditions. And I would suggest that the inflammation, the sensitivities, and the stealth infection are what's behind these ill-defined conditions.